So you understand that rich people, they got rich and became successful, that it was a gift from God, and that they became successful because they honored God and were serving others. If you think about everybody that's ever become wealthy, how did they become wealthy? You look at Kentucky Fried Chicken, they were serving others. You go back and look at some of the biggest companies in the world. What do? They serve others. And when we learn how to serve, God's going to bless us to get rich. It says the blessing of the Lord maketh one rich, and he add no sorrow to it. And guess what? He didn't discriminate. He didn't say that blessing is going to come to you. He said, in this time that we live in, from the old time to now, people actually made people believe that they couldn't be wealthy, that they were going to be slaves, that they were going to be in a bad position for the rest of their life. And even the churches they went to even didn't teach the prosperity. I want you to know something, that prosperity is God's gift to you. Just like prosperity was God's gift in this Bible that he talks about. Everybody he's given anything to, it's a blessing from God. And he wants to continue to bless you, but you're going to have to become conscious of it, because if you don't let it get in your subconscious, then you don't expect for it to happen. I know that some of you have been programmed that you won't amount to anything, that you came from this kind of family, maybe from a foster home, a broken home, maybe getting out of prison. But I'm here to tell you, that's a lie from the devil. If you come to Christ, everything in this book is prosperity for you, not just for the pastor, but for everybody in the congregation. So as I preach this message, just understand that God's gift of prosperity is for you. And that prosperity is his gift. And that gift comes by grace. A lot of times you don't earn it. A lot of times you're not in a position to receive it. You see people getting miraculously blessed all the time to be propelled into wealth. And most of the time they didn't earn it. Stop looking at your paycheck and thinking that that's all that there is, because that's not true. Start believing outside of what your ability to do something. If you got to have X amount of dollars, believe that God's going to do it. Do all that you can and then just stand. That's what he said. He just said just stand and watch God open up a road in that wilderness place. Watch him take you places that you never dreamed you could go. Look, it was already predestined for you. That's not something that just happened by accident. As I go back and I think about all the things that happened in my life, all the problems and difficulties I faced, all the times when I felt like I couldn't make it and things seemed like they weren't going in the right direction, that's because in my conscience, I allowed what I saw and what people told me coming up that you were limited. But boy, when I come to Christ Jesus, and he said, there's no limit in Christ. He said this, it says, I'm going to be your provider. I'm going to be your shield. I've given you my honor and my grace and prosperity, and no good thing will I withhold from you if you just walk uprightly before me. I want you to know that prosperity just doesn't fall on you. You're going to have to operate with integrity. You're going to have to do good for others. You're going to have to stand on the word even when it has no staircase, even when it seems to be impossible. You're going to have to say good things to people when they say bad things to you. You're going to have to keep out all the negativism and allow yourself to remain in the good gospel. And the more you hear this message that I'm preaching now about Christ, the more faith is going to come in, and the more that prosperity door is going to start opening up for you in your personal life, in your business, with your children, in your finances. I tell you something, this will change your attitude and raise your altitude. It'll make you see things different and have a spirit that moves on like you already have it. But I tell you this, you got to exercise faith with it. And faith is taking what he's saying about you right now, even though there's no substance of it, even though you can't prove it, even though there's no evidence, and believing it. How would that change your attitude? How would you be walking around if you knew you were going to already have the victory? God already set you up for prosperity, and that what you were going through was building you up for what you're getting ready to come out to.